how did I get into chronobiology?
You're a neurologist.
Yes, I first start with psychiatric research, and I was strongly impressed by the, you know, circadian diurnal variation of depression. And my first aim to enter psychiatric department after graduated the medical school was to see depressive illness and treat them without drugs. So my first aim to enter is, Dauerschlaf, continuous sleep therapy, or
Very old therapy.
very very old therapy. But I read the book when I was a medical school student, and I was strongly interested in. And lots of sleep makes you feel happy. And I knew that sleep deprivation therapy also, no sleep makes you happy also.
If you're depressed.
If you're depressed. But I found myself when examination of university after sleep deprived, and I was not a diligent student, not so good students. The night before the examination was very hard time, and stayed up late and stayed up all night, and the day after my feeling should have been tragic, but I am very optimistic before the examination starts, and after finished examination I became tragic.
So you have a personal experience of sleep
Yes,
deprivation.
yes,
Switch.
and that kind of combination is very, connected, very, very, very. It was very, very connected with our mental function, mood function, and that kind of study makes me understand more about human, more about what is man, what is human. That kind of question I had in my teenage, and from the biological point of view, not philosophical. And so I entered the university, and also I was so interested in hormonal endocrinological study when I was in university, medical school students, and when in late 70s, as you know, lots of hypothalamic releasing hormone was found, and that kind of the outcomes looked so hopeful for me when I was a university student. That is the story.
Was this the first thing that you did then? You did hormones?
First thing I did is keep sleep long on rapid cycler patient and read Tom Ware's paper and kind of chart I did make.
So Tom Ware was one of the important persons before
Yeah.
you met him. He
Yeah.
was a key person
Before I met him.
before you met him. Tell me about the important persons who helped you in chronobiology.
And also Masako. when I first attended a sleep meeting in Japan, 1982 or 3. She was very young, beautiful woman and chaired a big symposium, including her Professor Karajan, international symposium. And that kind of study was for me so hopeful. I started working with her 1991, 8 years, 9 years later. And her affiliation and my affiliation is quite different. But by chance, when she came back to Tokyo from Akita, she visited my OB-ARST. My OB-ARST, geriatric psychiatrist, was very friendly with her, and she asked him to give some young guy to collaborate new labo. So I put my hand, yes.
Tell us about the role you see for chronobiology.
I think I would like to limit my talk on within a clinical aspect. And chronobiological treatment, especially in psychiatry, is very important not in treatment in acute phase, but in, I believe, biologically based cognitive therapy for, kind of, administered lifestyle. People, depressed patient is always cannot decide how to do with their lifestyle. For example, Sunday, Saturday, they should have longer sleep. For example, 7 hours, 10 hours, 9 hours, that kind of long sleep to refresh themselves during, weekend. Or they keep 7 hour sleep through, work day, weekend, which is good for them. I believe that kind of regularity helps them, but no evidence there. And some doctors, psychiatric doctors, tell the patient, sleep as long as you can during weekend. But it's not, I think, not correct.
Are you going to do a study to show it?
I'd like to study that kind of, very simple educational, yes, sleep education for psychiatric patients.
Yeah. But do the politicians listen? Do they?
But politicians, I think, they listen to me.
Yes.
I believe. And cost benefit, they should, recognize the cost benefit advantage of this kind of education. But that kind of education should strictly based on biological and strictly based on natural science. Not, yes, not on discipline, moral, but because, based on scientifically helpful to treat or prevent psychiatric disorder. This is very important. But
there is a very close connection between sleep disorders and later psychiatric
disorders and also recurrence of psychiatric disorder and sleep disorder. But some psychiatric people make or take biological evidence-based educational way and kind of discipline, traditional discipline or traditional moral, or that kind of not scientific things. So we should be cautious about that kind of discrimination between evidence-based education and others.
And is this broadly accepted, or is it very specific?
In Japan, not so now. But I think I can make them interested in this field in several years. I think situation is a little bit different from Europe. In Japan, governmental grant is not closely connected with pharmaceutical company. So drug treatment, non-drug treatment, psychotherapy is evenly distributed. This is the Japanese way. So I hope I have chance to get that kind of grant to promote and examine and promote that kind of principle. 2002, our government project team made 12 do's and don'ts for your sleep. Governmentally, certified kind of very simple guideline for people, and we included that guideline, the chronobiological way. First, you keep rise time, and sunbathing is helpful to your sleep onset. That kind of things based on Boutin's or Leon Lac's way, and some people confirm that kind of cognitive therapy, combination of cognitive therapy and chronobiological education. So it's a little bit more popular.
Yes.
Kiyoshita Takahashi has been and now also a very important person for me, because his main clinical expertise depression, and he taught me about seasonal depression. I did not know seasonal depression. My understanding was that seasonal depression is kind of a disease special to northern country. 10 years, 15 years ago, 12 to 13 years ago, I made acquainted with him, and he kindly taught me about that kind of clinical things, together with basic way to develop clinical trials. And also, not in Japan, but important person for me to keep in touch with chronobiology is you. When I stayed in Germany, I said to my boss, Professor Mayaeva, that I would like to kind of circadian rhythm study. And he said to me, I don't know about basic study, how to conduct basic study. You should visit Basel and ask her how to do about it. And you kindly showed me what kind of protocol should I make with Macintosh software.
I remember.
And you used to be a Mac user, and you introduced me, Supernova, and I bought Supernova in Marburg after coming back from Basel, and I was for 7 or 8 years I was a user of Supernova.
And we got from you Kaleidograph.
Yes.
And, well, that's a nice story. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.